I'm hiking my feelings, working with all the natural healing. We are the makers of lives in our community, working to set myself free while I'm hiking my feelings. Hiking my feelings.
What do you think about that?
Amazing. I cannot
Isn't
get
it?
enough.
There is a moment on every trail when you pause, turn around, and realize you've climbed farther than you thought. You've gone beyond where your fear told you to stop. You're not the same person who started this journey. And that's what this has been. A program, a retreat, a reclamation, a remembering. When we first gathered for Blaze Your Own Trail to Self-Love, many of us were still carrying the weight of what we'd been taught to believe about ourselves. That we had to hustle for our worth. That rest was weakness. That emotions should be hidden, managed, and tucked away. That healing was private, quiet, something to be done alone. But something in us knew better. Something in us wanted more. More than survival, more than a burnout, more than going through the motions in lives we barely recognized as our own. So we answered the call. And that first call was to remember who we are beneath the noise. We started with the trail of life, retracing our steps, finding patterns, honoring the highs and the heartbreaks. We met our fears with honesty. We dared to name our dreams. We wrote new mantras and built toolboxes for the days when the ground felt unsteady. And then we came here. To Glacier National Park, to these mountains, these lakes, this sky, to this sacred container of truth-telling and transformation. In Glacier, Glacier met us exactly where we were. With wind that cleared the cobwebs, with still water that mirrored our quiet strength. With hikes that reminded us, this view is worth the climb. We practiced what it means to hold space for ourselves, for each other, for the land. We rested without apology. We laughed until we cried. We cried until we softened. We witnessed and were witnessed. And in that presence, something shifted. Because healing in community, especially this kind of community, is about support and remembrance. We remembered that we are not a problem to solve. We are a story still being written. We are capable. We are creative. We are powerful. And we are allowed to choose a new way forward. The Highline Trail was the crown jewel of the program, hosted in the crown of the continent. It was a celebration, a declaration, a metaphor for all the mountains we've already climbed, in our careers, in our relationships, in our becoming. Some of us were nervous. Some of us were steady. Most of us were both, sometimes in the same breath. And yet, we moved together, held each other, reminded each other that courage doesn't always look like charging ahead. Sometimes courage looks like saying, I need a breath. And sometimes it looks like, let's do this side by side. And as we moved through awe, through effort, through elevation, we witnessed Glacier. And we let Glacier witness us. This land holds memory, and now it holds ours. So what comes next? What do we do with all this aliveness? That's where reciprocity begins. Because we weren't meant to consume experiences. We were meant to be changed by them, to integrate them, to carry them home. Reciprocity is about giving back and giving forward, rooted in gratitude, guided by integrity, built on the belief that our healing and the Earth's healing are intertwined. So maybe that looks like taking your mindful miles into your neighborhood park, starting your next team meeting with a grounding breath, saying yes to rest, saying no with clarity, tending to your nervous system like you would these beloved landscapes, with patience, with curiosity, with care. This work doesn't end when the retreat ends. It ripples. We still have months of support together after this shared experience. Integration circles, shared rituals, and most importantly, the commitment we made to ourselves. To keep showing up, to keep softening, to keep growing roots so we can rise. This isn't goodbye, it's a trail marker. A cairn at the crossroads of who we've been and who we're becoming. And just like the land remembers us, we will remember this. Every glacial breeze, every laugh, every tear, every moment we chose connection over comparison. So take a deep breath. Place your hand on your heart and say it with me. I am surviving. I am thriving. I am still becoming. And I am home in this body, in this community, and in the landscapes that we care for together.